YouTube, Branded Despia is here at its top tier. And how is it top tier? It's here with Branded Fusion. So if you've been under a rock and you've never heard of this card in Yu-Gi-Oh before, it's incredibly powerful and it's been hit through many, many ban lists. And it's basically Shadow Fusion without a restriction. You fuse monsters from the deck that are listed on a Fall under Albaz Fusion monster and summon it. So, again, it is returning with the original Despia core. I'm not going to go too much in detail with it. We're going to go right to the combo guide and I'm going to explain everything there and I'm going to explain everything in the replays. So, here we go. YouTube, this is the combo guide. So, I didn't go over too much in the intro because I'm going to explain to you everything in the combo guide. So, basically, we are playing 3 ad libitum. This is the most broken card in the deck because it can revive any level 8 fusion monster or higher when it uses fusion material. So, what you need to know, you're going to say, okay, why is this so broken? Well, let's read Mirrorjade for a second. So Mirrorjade says that once per turn you can banish, you can send from your extra deck to the graveyard one monster that mentions Fallen Albaz from your extra deck to non-target banish a monster on the field. So immediately that's really strong, just non-target banishes anything. But you're going to say, this is where it's going to get confusing to you. You're going to say, well, but it cannot use that effect during the next turn. This card... Now, if you fusion summon using ad libitum and you revive it, it is no longer that specific card. So Mirrorjade can activate again, making it extremely powerful. So, if you revive back Mirrorjade again, you then have an opportunity to have another non-target banish on the field. And that gets really insane, especially when your opponent wants to use cards like Droplet or Eclipse. It won't matter, because even if they Droplet and you activate that first Mirrorjade, you're going to be able to do it again. And with that being said, we're going to go over our other fusions. Albion the Branded Dragon allows you to essentially Miracle Fusion into any branded monster. Before it was just Borlo Turbo, but now you can go into Mirrorjade and it can be very effective for you. And then we have Lubellion, which allows us to fusion summon by returning banished monsters from the deck or from the graveyard, which is really, really good. So think Miracle Contact, think Miracle Fusion, and then Mirrorjade is your big daddy of a boss monster. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. So first things first, we want ad libitum in the hand, ideally. So we're going to skill, and we're going to activate it, which allows us to reveal one Despia monster or branded opening to add one Despia monster and one Deirdre of the Branded from deck to end. Then we have to shuffle a card in the deck. Okay, keynote here. If you already have a Luber in hand, or you already have your ad libitum, well, more or less, if you already have a Luber in hand, then what you can add here is Comedy, because if you already have a Luber in hand, then what you want to do is you want to search Comedy, because Comedy plays around Valor. If they were to target a Despia monster for an effect, then you can negate it. So this is really, really good, because if you summon a Luber and they want to negate you with Valor, then you can dodge it with Comedy. So Comedy becomes a very, very good search target in the deck. Would I play 3 Aluber? Probably. If I had 3, I probably would. Just because the ability to be able to search Comedy and dodge Valor is very, very effective. Going first, so you don't get Valor when you try to search Branded Fusion. But yeah. If you don't have 3, you can even float around the idea of even including a second Comedy. You can take out like a third Dramaturge for a second Comedy if you want to do that. Just to have more accessibility to anti-Valor targets. But yeah, just as a note for you. Okay, so now once we have our Aluber, we're going to go ahead and we're going to summon our Aluber to the field. And then Aluber is going to go ahead and is going to pick us up Branded Fusion. Okay, so if you have Branded Lost, or you already have Branded Fusion already, then your Aluber can search you Branded Lost. And then at that point, you can pick up Mercurier. Now, if you want to search Mercurier anyway, you can also play the Tri-Brigade one, Brigand, the Glory Dragon. And that you can send from the extra deck to the graveyard if you want to pick up Mercurier, which can be really, really good in a matchup like Shinobird, because then you can negate their ritual, and Mercurier doesn't target to negate, so you can negate Shino Baron Peacock, and they can't dodge it with like a Droplet or an Eclipse or whatever. Very, very good. Okay, next we're going to activate Branded Fusion. So Branded Fusion is then going to go ahead and summon out Lubellion. Now your first instinct may be to summon Albion because it's a Miracle Fusion, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to summon Lubellion. And we're going to send our Tragedy and our Albaz to the graveyard. Now Tragedy on when sent to the graveyard, could have either one of its effects. You can only use one effect per turn, and that's pretty much how it works for that regard. Excuse me. So if you use Tragedy's effect to search, you can't reset. If you use Tragedy's effect to set, then you can't search. But Tragedy being able to set is more relevant than ever because you can reset Branded Fusion back. So now we're going to summon Lubellion, and then we could chain block our graveyard effects, say if they wanted to negate something in the graveyard, or if they had to negate for something specific on the field, like a counter trap, then we can chain block by going Lubellion on Chain Link 1, and then activating our Tragedy Chain Link 2. So we'll discard a card from hand, then we're going to trigger Tragedy, and Tragedy is going to go ahead and pick us up Add if we don't have it already. If you don't have Add already, you're going to want to pick it up. If you already have Add, then you can pick up another Luber, you can pick up Comedy, you can pick up Dramaturge. I like to pick up Dramaturge because then I can do other things on my opponent's turn if I wanted to have it, if I didn't. Or you don't have to, but you can. Or you could just pick up a Luber for the following turn. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. But if you don't have Add, get Add. Add is the most important. And then we're going to go ahead and make Mirrorjade. Okay, so after we get Mirrorjade, what you're going to do is you're going to activate, and this is going to sound really crazy, but just bear with me. You're going to activate Mirrorjade's effect to send Albion to the graveyard to banish itself. Now, while that may seem really, really ridiculous, trust me, it comes through in the end. Next, you're going to activate your Theater, and then with Theater, you're going to go ahead and fuse into Masquerade, or Queritus if you want to, by fusing off these two either in your hand or on the field, including your Luber. Now you may say, well Sean, why wouldn't I fuse off Add and Dramaturge? Because then Add revives back the Mirrorjade and I get to summon Dramaturge too. The problem with that is that if you do that and they have something like a Book of Eclipse, then you're going to clog yourself. And then when you summon a new monster, you're not going to have any zone space left. So that's why I don't like to do that. There is a way, and I will go over it in a second. There is a Despia monster that kind of allows you to mitigate through that and get Dramaturge on the field too. But most of the time, this is probably the better play to make. So now we're going to activate our Add, and our Add's going to go ahead and summon back our Mirrorjade on the field. And then at this point, we're going to skip to our end phase. And then we're going to go ahead and activate our Albion, and this will set our Branded in red. Now, if we have more text, we can absolutely set more text to the field. You're not restricted by just setting Branded in red. If you have another tech card in hand, then you can absolutely set another card to the field as well. Now, what makes this really, really strong, in my opinion, is that this allows you to have multiple layers of disruption on your opponent's turn. So Mirrorjade will allow you to banish them on their turn, a monster. Tax Dragon is going to cause them already headaches because they're going to have to pay 600 life points every time they activate a card. And then, remember, we're going to have one less card in the hand. So these are going to be like 2 extra cards. Then you're going to have Branded in red. So once you add back your Ad Libitum, then you're going to have the ability to make a Dragostepelia, which is another form of disruption. And then fuse off that same Mirrorjade that you used to banish their first monster, resummon back that Mirrorjade, and have another non-target banish for a 4th disruption. So in reality, you're having 4 disruptions off this one singular board, which is pretty good. And then, depending on what other text you open, or if you open up Branded Loss to get Mercurier, then you can have a 5th disruption to potentially, negate one of your opponent's monster effects, which is really strong because it's non-targeting. And yeah, so that's pretty much what you're doing with your combo. So I'm going to play out this turn just so that way you can see it in fruition. So I'm going to banish this monster. And again, you can send Albion, which will give you follow-up. And if you use Mirrorjade's effect twice, then you can send Titanic Light and get even more follow-up. You can also play Branded Retribution, which is the new counter trap, and to get a special summon if you want. Now we can go ahead and credit follow-up if we want to. And if we wanted to, and we wanted to get rid of another opponent's monster, if we wanted to showcase off what we do with Mirrorjade, we can add back the Add, and then we can fusion summon over the Mirrorjade. And just to show you, make the Dragostepelia, and then revive back the Mirrorjade. And at that point, we can banish all over again. And then our Titanic Blade can trigger. And then we can summon like a Fallen Albaz or add it to hand or whatever. And like I said, the follow-up is relentless at this point. Then, because you have a Dark Dragon, you can even make Furious Dragon as well. Not with this, because this has to summon. Not with this, because you have to fusion into level 8 or higher fusion monster using hand or field. We wouldn't be able to make Furious right away. You would have to make Lubellion first, because you need 2 dragons. And Mirrorjade is not a dragon, it's a worm. So, here if we wanted to make Furious, we can go Lubellion. Oh, we don't have Albaz in the grave. Yeah, we couldn't make Furious because we don't have another dragon in play. Another Dark Dragon. We would need Albion, so we'd have to make Albion first if we wanted to make Furious. But, you know, if you wanted to make Furious, just get Albion into play. But other than that, you're fine. And then, yeah, we just go for game. So yeah, those were some replays for you guys. Now we're gonna be doing a con climb tomorrow. Well, actually tonight. Happy New Year to all of you. Con climb tonight. Do not miss it. Be there. I'll teach you how to play Branded correctly. And yeah, appreciate it. I would love you on this journey with me. Appreciate the likes, comments, subs. Everyone follow me on YouTube. Ton of Duel Links content coming and Pocket as well. Bye, guys.